Travis had picked up the same bear sense about the newcomer as Shelby, but his instincts told him the man was hiding an immense amount of fear. That doesn't add up. Stepping down off the porch, he made sure he kept an arm around Shelby's elbow, keeping her close to his side and slightly behind him. He could sense her inner struggle to maintain that position, but when she didn't fight it, he made a mental note to compliment her later on her self-control. He'd awakened as she'd slipped from the bed, but she'd been so wrapped up in her wariness, she hadn't paid him any attention as she donned her robe and headed outdoors. That single-minded focus was going to get her in big trouble one of these days. I only hope I'm around to rescue her when that happens. He met the blue-gray gaze of the stranger and decided to make a stand. You know you're trespassing, right? The trespasser was tall, maybe 6'3", but lanky in build and young. Travis was guessing the kid was only 19, maybe 20. He had yet to put on his adult muscle, something that would still be noticeable even in his bear form. The man stopped walking towards them and then looked around. Actually, I hadn't realized. This your property? Travis shook his head. It's hers. Care to tell me why you're coming out of her woods? The man ignored him and directed his attention and his next words to Shelby. I came here to talk to you. Me? Shelby queried. What for? The man shifted uneasily on his feet, and Travis could sense his inner bear warring with the man to burst free. Something had this man agitated, and Travis could tell the man was only moments away from losing the battle. Answer the lady, he suggested calmly, his voice laced with a thread of steel that had the other man glancing at him quickly. He nodded once and then looked down. My name is Nathaniel Olson. I live about 60 miles north of here. Travis watched Shelby's eyebrows raise at that information. You're from Castle Valley. Nathaniel nodded his head. Yes, and I really need your help. I've been tracking some men pretending to be poachers for several weeks now. Imagine my surprise when I found evidence of their camp on your property with one of them dead. Dead? Shelby hadn't realized that one of them had died, but she had a hard time finding any remorse over the fact. Those men had been planning to set bear traps on her property. Bear traps, for crying out loud. Travis intervened and kept her from having to speak, giving her plenty of time to observe the newcomer. He was young, and she could smell his fear rolling off him in waves. Something has this kid spooked. Why are you following those men? Nathaniel looked from one to the other and then let his control slip a little further as he answered them. Because they took my wife.